Okay. ETC Group is closely monitoring the status of the 2007 bill in the Brazilian Congress aimed at ending Brazil's ban on Terminator seeds. Why stopping this bill is so important for the global agricultural system? In general, what is the current state of GMO in the world, and what is ETC Group position on this topic?
Well, first with the Terminator case, what's shocking to us, I guess, is that there was an effort by the multinational companies to overturn the moratorium on Terminator seeds at the United Nations back in 2006. That was at a meeting of the Biodiversity Convention in Curitiba, Brazil, in 2006. The Brazilian government, led by the president at that time, Lula, helped us in working with MST and other peasant movements in Brazil to protect the moratorium. And Lula announced at the end of the battle that it was a great victory for those who were against Terminator. And that led to the Brazilian government introducing legislation in 2007 which banned Terminator in Brazil. They went to the next step beyond a moratorium, saying it is illegal in Brazil, flat out. Now to see these bills moving through the Brazilian Congress and Lula's successor in the same political party not stopping it has us really frightened. We think that if Brazil allows Terminator to be used in their country, because of their concern about their international reputation, they will turn around immediately and try to change the moratorium against Terminator at the United Nations level to make Terminator legal in all countries. They won't want to be accused of being the pariah of the Terminator legislation or Terminator moratorium. So they will change the moratorium. And the timing is very precise because sometime between FIFA's World Cup in June and July this year and the elections, which are taking place in Brazil in the first week of October, we think the bills may pass. One of the bills may pass, but no one's paying any attention. And then right after the election on October the 6th in Brazil, we have the meeting of the Biodiversity Convention. Biennial meeting is taking place in Korea. So we are afraid that what will happen is the Brazilian diplomats will go to Korea and they will try to, as they will put it, gently modify the language of the moratorium to pretend that what they did in Brazil is not a violation of the moratorium. And that will open the doors still to allow Terminator out around the world. So Brazil is, to us, extraordinarily dangerous because of its international reputation, its desire to protect its reputation. It could become, once before, the worst enemy of Terminator, now about to become perhaps the best friend of Terminator.
Okay. In your opinion, what's the current state of GMO in the world?
Well, still, I think, I haven't looked at the figures most closely, but it's around 27 or 28 countries, I guess, have some GMO seeds that they allow under some conditions. The vast majority of countries, the vast majority of farmers still do not use GMOs. What's shocking, I think, is how badly the GM industry has done since the last 20 years. It's amazingly poor. I mean, they started off 20 years ago with 4 crops, with virtually everything in 4 crops. They're still basically working with just 4 crops. They talk about dozens of other crops, but they have nothing really much to show for it. It's really maize and cotton and soybeans and canola that are out there. They haven't really, since the early years, expanded the number of countries very much. They've really been stalled there, and they're in trouble. And one of the reasons they're in trouble, of course, is that the cost for GMOs, the introduction of a single GMO in the United States costs $136 million. That's unbelievably expensive. The normal cost of same companies producing a conventional plant variety is about $1 million.
Okay.
So GMOs just aren't functioning very well. So they're seriously in trouble. And if I can add, what's happening then is that the companies are looking at alternative technologies to get around GMOs and to achieve the same kind of monopolies monopoly control through other technologies such as synthetic biology, such as gamma farming or gamma breeding of radiation breeding of crops and so on.
Okay, but why GMOs are so dangerous for us?
Well, they're dangerous, but for two reasons. One is because of the monopoly control they represent, because a handful of companies, really 6 companies, produce all of the GMOs pretty much. And secondly, they're dangerous because it's such a sloppy technology. It was very badly constructed in the first place. The small companies that started off with this business, 25, 30 years ago, were desperate to try to prove to Wall Street that they had a commercial product. So they pushed their very immature technology into the marketplace without any real preparation. And we're dealing with the sloppiness of that ever since then. So it's a sloppy technology, and it still allows for kind of exclusive monopoly protection. That makes it very, very dangerous. I would still argue that some of the new techniques, there are about 9 of them out there, that are similar to GMOs, are extraordinarily dangerous and are not being, no one's paying attention to them. They're out there, and the media don't know about them. They're in the fields, they're in our food, and they're at least as dangerous as GMOs, and no one's even aware they exist.
Okay.